about a strategic plan or action plan for us, which of course was part of the thinking of the organizers or conveners, and that is going to be put in place. But October 1 may be too far in the light of the feelers we are getting that elections for 2020 will be brought to 2026. There is a proposal at the National Assembly that election be brought forward to October 2026, I guess. So therefore, we need to begin to get proactive with our strategic plan, and then see what we can do between now and May 2026. But a team will be set up from this summit. We already have a proposed list of those who will be in that team, which will be the think tank and drivers to implement the initiative that have come out from this summit. Thank you. Your name, please.
My name is Araba Rufus Ayenigba, the National Publicity Secretary, Social Democratic Party. I want to commend my big brother, Comrade Wale Okuneye, for your unrelenting, ageless passion and commitment to national redemption. Keep the work going. God be with us. God bless Nigeria. I want to correct the man who spoke from BON. He was not correct. Prince Wale Adebayo did not run in 2019. He was the candidate of the SDP in 2023, and everybody in Nigeria appreciate the fact that SDP was a major formidable party in that election, and Prince Adewale was the darling of Nigerians. My major point is this. I've been in the civil society over the last 25 years, and I've been in the political party administration for the last 5 years. One thing that worries me that I want us to look at is this. No matter the beauty of our submissions, recommendations, no matter who appoints INEC chairman, no matter what we do, if we don't reform our mindset as Nigerians, both leaders and the led, even the civil society, we have a great deal of corruption going on there. People over the years who have given us bad names in the civil society. We need, as we are trying to be reformers, let us reform our mindsets to be good citizens, and we'll be able to hold our leaders accountable. If you come to equity, you must come in clean hands. We all have to play our roles, and then we can get the Nigeria of our dream. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nigeria.
The reality in our climb is that it's good to moralize, but the system must change so that people who are hungry will not go and steal. If the system is such that there is so much food somewhere and that some people are denied or deprived, they may steal, and you may not have justification to deal with them. So we have to do something about our system. Governance has to be democratic, and it must really have impact on the masses. The next person, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ogedengbe Ayodele Monday. I want to draw our attention to the process of electoral reform, where stakeholders fail to regroup themselves, to consolidate themselves in that process when it is on in National Assembly. We leave people who are weak. The major stakeholders will sit back at home and believe that the few young people who does not have the rudiment to engage the National Assembly members will be allowed to go. Meanwhile, the main stakeholders who want to be from opposition, who want to be the beneficiary of this electoral process that we are talking about, they will sit back home. They will not want to go for engagement. My advice is, let us have stakeholder forum for electoral reform. If we can consolidate this in a way that we can properly engage the National Assembly member when that time comes, then we may be able to score our goal. But if we still think that the same people who does not want good governance should have their way in that electoral reform process, then we will keep repeating every 4 years, we'll keep repeating electoral reform summit. So that's one. The second one is, I want to throw a question to the organizers. Now, there are cases where opposition will be invaded. They will invade opposition stronghold in an election process. Go there, scatter the ballot box and everything, because the person they are contesting against, who are in power, who have the force or the wherewithal to overpower them in that zone, will go and destroy their ballot box. And at the end of the day, that will not count in favor of them. The question is now, in this process that we are doing now, we should put it in consideration. What are we to do to correct this particular incident? Thank you.
What are we to do to correct this?
Thank you very much. Why we are here is to correct all the anomaly that we have observed in our electoral framework. And we are not here for tea party, but we are here to launch a major national movement for credible elections. That is the agenda of this national dialogue. Therefore, taking it forward, the think tank leadership and the movement will engage all the flaws and anomalies that have been highlighted from this summit. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, House. Moses Okolo is my name. I represent Department of Politics and Good Governance, Foursquare Gospel Church, Kuba District. I want to thank God for this auspicious occasion where issues bordering on Nigeria has been brought to the front burner. Now, in getting our electoral reforms right, I want to observe that the state has weaponized poverty. Poverty is a major challenge because I cannot wake up and get any quantum of onions or maggi or whatever cloth to vote for a wrong person. It is impossible to think about it. It's impossible. Now, because of poverty, people can be given anything and monitored to the effect of monitoring where their votes will go. I think government should get intentional in human capital development. We should get to the point where we begin to talk to our people at the grassroots level on the implications of selling their right, their fundamental right, to people that will not consider them for a second after ascension to power. It is important that we begin to publicize this, talk to our people, because to a large extent, poverty has been weaponized. When elections come is when you see some of these guys. So all the good ideas and good points put together becomes almost ineffective because people will do otherwise with all the good intentions of whosoever is going to talk to them. Everything becomes the highest bidder takes it. From the primary election, like our distinguished Senator Sani said, everything becomes a commercial, transactional. We know what happened in 2023 in particular. The kind of dollars that exchange hands for people to vote for whosoever at the primary level, then down the line. So I think this poverty is a major factor in this matter, and we must get intentional in building up our people, empowering the youth. Because if you look at it, I saw a cartoon, sorry, with due respect. cartoon of a man who wanted to contest for governorship, and he told his son he was taking him to the US. The guy said, "Daddy, why I should watch?" He said, "Look, get out of this country. I'm going to fight dirty." And we laughed over it. But that is the situation. How come that when after elections we counted the number of dead because of election, people getting power, because of this poverty factor? The young men have to die on the street, fall out from vehicles, clash, while the gladiators are in their homes and hotels relaxing. So poverty is a major issue and it must be looked into critically. Thank you very much.
Thank you. He has raised the issue.
Must be looked into.
No, we can only take 2 more, but please hold on. Hold on. We can't continue endlessly. We can only take
reaction.
2 more because we have to go. We have to summarize. He has raised the question of the impoverishment.
Okay, a lady now.
Please, hold on. Hold on, please. He has raised the issue of impoverishment and the fact that property is weaponized and that we must do something about that. So that's the point he has raised. Who are we taking? So we can only take 2. Can we identify the 2? The woman is...
Standing on the existing protocol.
No, we can't take everybody. Yeah, please go on.
Standing on the existing protocol. So I want to talk about the polling units. During election process, when election proper, you see, it looks as if the election is going on very well. You will not see any radical action taking place that people are voting normally and, you know, they leave the place after voting. Then after voting enters night. When it enters night, even those you call the agents or parties, you see call from above buying them. I was alone in a polling unit. I was able to fight it. I said nothing. And there were a lot of calls coming from above. They said, "Madam, it's opportunity to change your life." And I refused them. How can we put cameras in the polling unit? I was using torch. There was no light. And they were eager to manipulate. And I resisted it with my pregnancy. There is nothing they didn't promise. I refused everything. Please, women that are here, we can do it. Women, come out. If you see the atrocities that happen after voting, please let us fix cameras and lighten up polling units. If you stay during that night, you see only men who are too cheap. But women, please come out that night. Nothing will happen. I was able to resist it. I was able to do all I did. And on the front page, they put my picture. And nothing happened. They didn't kill me. And they were not able to have their way.
Thank you, madam. That's the power of the women.
Powerful woman.
Let me acknowledge the presence of Dr. Tafa Wabaliwa. He's a senior member of the Patriots. He's a friend of President Jonathan. He's in here. I think he's brought a message from President Jonathan to us. We are going to take another woman if we have any woman speaking. No woman. Do we have another woman? Woman, please. Another woman. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I stand on existing protocols. My name is Comfort Comrade Ikume Nedmo. I wish Senator Shehu Sani was still here, because while he was speaking, I was taking notes, and I had a question for him. He complained about the high cost of elections. I wanted to ask, how do we get past this stage? How do we make contesting elections at whatever level affordable, so that ordinary citizens who have good intentions can come in? Because obviously it's about the money bags, it's about the godfathers and all that. So how do we cross this hurdle? Thank you.
Thank you. what he has said is that how can we reduce the influence of money on our election, which Prince Adebayo will take while rounding up, closing the session. Yes, Comrade Adum, please. So that's the last.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. Mine is to talk about the reform of Nigeria's electoral jurisprudence. You know, election is a process. And the last process is the determination in the court. And this is where we have a big challenge. The extant Nigerian electoral jurisprudence puts too much burden on the petitioner to prove his petition. So I would like to see reforms in this direction. One, to lighten the burden of judicial proof that is placed on the petitioner. In this regard, the most crucial issue in the challenge of the conduct of election is substantial non-compliance. And this substantial non-compliance is extremely very difficult to prove by the petitioner, because the petitioner is not the one who conducted the election. The election is conducted by INEC. The extant jurisprudence, which is accusatorial, lumps INEC, the winner of the election, and the political party that has sponsored the winner of the election as respondents to an election petition. In that way, INEC is working together with one of the parties in the petition. So I would like a situation where the burden of proof is shifted away from the petitioner and placed on INEC so that we can make it inquisitorial. So INEC is invited by the court to come and explain how it complied with its own rules and regulations, the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the conduct of the election. Because when INEC says we are going to transmit results electronically, and in the middle of the election, INEC changes the rules by saying there's a technical glitch, and the tribunal does not question that change. The tribunal is asking the petitioner to prove how non-transmission of results electronically affected the election. It is absurd. So we need to shift the burden of proof away from the petitioner to INEC. INEC must be summoned by the tribunal, because the challenge is, it says that the petitioner should subpoena INEC staff. When the tribunal issues an order of subpoena, INEC will resist from complying with the order. The petitioner becomes incapacitated. The tribunal itself does nothing. And then the ruling from the tribunal will come. The petitioner failed to prove his petition. Secondly, we need to take away judicial mandates. The idea that people will vote, cast their vote, when judges are not there, then judges will go and determine that this is the winner of the election. It is not good for our democracy. So, the only orders arising from the conclusion or the determination of the election petition should be an order of nullification and an order for a rerun of the election. No judge should be empowered to declare anybody a winner of election, because the judges don't vote, the people vote. So if we have those two final stage resolutions in terms of reform of how the process of election is conducted and completed in Nigeria, it will help us also move to a much closer level in terms of getting better elections and better outcomes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's about the last. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Prince Adebayo is going to respond and do a closing remarks in answering well, yes, I'm going to bring Dr. Tafa Balewa will speak to us. He's a friend of President Jonathan, and but he, in his own right, He is a senior member of the Patriots. And so he has 2 caps here. So I want to bring him to the podium in 2 minutes, give us his goodwill message, solidarity message from Dr. Tafawa Balewa, Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa, the son of the first Prime Minister of Nigeria. A round of applause for him, please. Dr. Tafawa Balewa, you are welcome. Just to the podium straight, speak. Yes, exchanging pleasantry. Yeah, Dr. Tafawa Balewa, goodwill message.
Thank you, Shay. I want to offer my unreserved apologies for coming in so late. We're talking about electoral reform, about a country, but we have one bully country, the United States of America, and some of us here are Nigerian Americans, I'm sure, bully us that they're going to want to change the way our country is. Any Nigerian killed, whether they're Christians, Muslims, or pagans, it's one Nigerian too many. No Nigerian should be killed before God takes them away. But we're not going to allow any anarchy. We need to defend this country. We're defending a democracy. We need to build our own democracy. We're talking about electoral reforms. We need a new Nigeria, a new focus. We have 5 living presidents. None of them are here. That's not all. None of them have spoken to to the United States about us being invaded. That is very anarchist. The United States that will kill so many children, Christians and Muslims in Gaza, is thinking about us? Or is it the Christian way of bringing some savages into civilization? We need to think of all those. This is the only country that we can call our own. We need to stand up and defend it. The United States, if you ever follow their history, will never, ever attack a country that responds positively to them. This is, we're the largest black country in the world, the largest in Africa. And someone says that our government intentionally kills part of our population. This is untrue. We must never allow any Nigerians to be killed in any shape or form, or to be maimed, or to be harmed. But at the same time, we have to watch ourselves. We need to police ourselves. This religious thing, both Christianity and Islam come from the Middle East. They're not our religions. Why are we being subjected to what? We're being made to look like fools out there. If we're going to have electoral reforms for this country, then we need to be able to stand up as a country. You beat your chest that this is my country. And that country is what you're defending. But the way we're being looked at outside now, I'm sorry, it's not good at all. I am sure if President Jonathan was here, he would have wished us all well and hope that we look very closely to what is going on in our country, in our democracy. If you look at the last election on Saturday, okay, APGA won, and rightfully so. But if you look at the votes for the other parties, you cannot even give them a percentage. APC came a very distant, ionic second. But what? Is this what we want? I mean, do we want pluralism? Do we want diversity in our nation? This is a nation of over 500 ethnicities. Do we show that at all? Please, my sisters, my brothers, sons, and daughters, we need to think very carefully of the type of Nigeria that we want.
Thank you.
At the moment, I don't think we have it.
Thank
I
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul-Jalil Tafawa Balewa, for that very incisive intervention. Now, we are going to have a close to the discussion. The rapporteurs have done their work. They are going to bring it to the team, and then the report is going to be issued in communique form of this conference. But before we go, we'll hand over the microphone to the lead speaker to interject on all the issues raised and then close for us. If you have not taken your chops and snacks, please get them and be well. Thank you very much. Over to Prince Adewale Adebayo.
Thank you. My duty here is not at this point to express my personal opinion, but to remind us of the contributions of all of us here. The first broad issue that came out is whether there's any hope for electoral reforms at all. Whether we're just wasting our time talking in one room while the world is passing us by. And I think the thing to remember is that these discussions are not in vain. The problem in Nigeria is not because we talk a lot. Even the Greeks talk more than us. The problem is that when we talk, we don't follow with action. So we must live here with actions. Two, whereas the battle is collective, the objectives are collective, but individual steps need to be taken. They've raised the issue of management of political parties, and I'm happy that party leaders are here and they will take note that political parties are the engines of democracy. And once you have qualitative political parties, the product will be better. Dantale made that point, that political parties have to be better restructured. And High Chief Peter Ame mentioned the futility of voting. If you allow the 19 political parties in existence and a few more that they want to register now, if you don't interfere there and you allow them to have weak processes and they produce unacceptable candidates, you now have to choose between malaria, typhoid, and diabetes. So that's a very difficult vote to cast. Where people have talked about poverty and the weaponization of poverty, there are two ways to look at that. Poverty is bad. And in fact, what brought me into politics is farewell to poverty, which Abiola said in 1992, culminating in 1993 victory. And when we came in 2022, leading to 2023 elections, farewell to poverty and insecurity. So the issue of poverty is important. But when we used to have credible elections in the past, our people were not rich, and they were not that prosperous. They were living under colonial governments. I think that what is lacking is lack of patriotism. The lady from the NUT who just spoke, who gave us this courage at the polling unit. She looks very rich, but I don't think she's a multi-millionaire. But she stood in her own right and did what needed to be done at the place where it matters the most, at the polling unit. So poverty is bad. And we need good government to eliminate poverty in Nigeria. Our country is not a country where we can say, let us reduce poverty. Nigeria has no reason to reduce poverty. There are countries that are naturally poor, and they can try to mitigate and reduce poverty. Our own poverty is an aberration. We need to eradicate it completely. But you need good politics to lead to good governance before you can eradicate poverty. So if you now say you are waiting for poverty to go before you vote well, you are in a vicious cycle.
Oh, yes.
So you have to be poor for one day, be poor and proud for one day, and put in a good government so that you won't be poor again. And generations after you will not be poor again. So what it means is that we should tell our people, rich or poor, to stop using poverty as an excuse to be indisciplined, disloyal to the country, and unpatriotic. And what's even more, those professors that announce incongruous election results, those electoral officers that are changing results, are they also poor? Those military officers who collect money to cordon off voters from voting, are they also poor? So if we are talking of poverty, it's the poverty of the mind, poverty of the spirit. I have met poor people in Nigeria. In the course of my campaign, in my daily life, I meet poor people. And I live among the rich. I can tell you, even the poor people of Nigeria have more integrity than the rich people.
That's true.
Because if poverty is the reason for our problem, why will a governor steal money again? Why will a president steal money again? So, let us not use poverty anymore. I have sympathy for the poor, and I want to eradicate poverty, but it's not an excuse for bad behavior for selling your vote. The next issue is about youth participation. Youth participation is not for youth. The quagmire is this. Politics is seen as adult activities. And youths are encouraged to participate because they are the leaders of tomorrow. And because we know that tomorrow never comes, people don't want to waste their time on tomorrow that will never come. Nigerian politics is making the same mistake which was being made by Christianity. Christianity used to have the Christian session. Some churches still have it, children's session, where they'll be singing nursery rhymes and be teaching you about Joseph and his coat of many colors. So, whereas in Islam, at the age of 5, you start reciting the Quran. There's no children's session. So in politics, there's no youth session. There is no youth session anymore. There's nothing wrong with a 25-year-old governor. There's nothing wrong with a 35-year-old president. But the reason why I believe that youth are running away from politics is, to be candid, youth don't like responsibility. That is why there will be a lot of food in the pantry, in the store. And the 25-year-old person will be calling the mommy, "Mommy, when are you coming back to cook?" Even though there is food in the pantry. So the Nigerian youth need to understand, nobody I know in politics is going to come and help the poor. Nobody I know is going to come and help the youth. The only way you can help the poor and the youth is for the poor and the youth to take over the politics. We also talk about the role of money in politics. My brothers, Senator, comrade, I don't know which one to write his small letter now, whether it's the comrade or the senator. Shehu Sani, he mentioned the issue about money. I can tell you categorically, money is not the problem of Nigerian politics. Anybody who tells you that money is the problem of Nigerian politics, he does not want to say the truth. In the SDP, women don't pay 1 naira. And we have to go and take the nomination paper to their houses. Wait, how many women are still coming out? That is why I respect Patience Ndidi Keys. She is everywhere there's an action to take. So she runs for the improbable. She does aim for the impossible. And it is through people like that that a new country will be founded. Now, money in politics is just an excuse to be problematic. Why? Who do you spend the money on in politics? Most of the money spent in politics is spent on women and youth. They're the one collecting the wrapper. No wrapper, no attention. Who is collecting the money? The youth. If you give them posters to go and paste, they will not answer you. Who collects data before they can retweet the truth? If you lie and lie and lie and give enough money, you have young people who will buy data and help you spread the lie. And if you say the truth, if you don't give them data, they will not answer you. So, the people who should not complain about money in politics are 3 people. Political party leaders, like High Chief Peter Ame, others have run away, they left him here to come and answer the question. Because they are the one who, if you don't give them money, the National Working Committee of your party will say you are a bad person. The state executive will say you are a bad person if you don't give money. Before you go and greet the chairman of your party or secretary or executive, you must go as if you are greeting a traditional ruler. So if small political parties, they are small now because they are not in government, learn the lesson, say, in our political party, we want to be party of ideas, like Professor Bukaji said. Let us be party of ideas. Let us go to people's houses, even if they have no money, and say, you have good ideas, come and run for us. That is. If today we have a conference, I will have a pledge where all the youths and all the women in politics say they are not going to collect money from politicians. They won't collect Maggie or Rapper. Politicians will have nobody to spend their money on. If you remember that novel by Mariam Abba, Beggar Strike, was written in the context of Gambia or Senegambia, where the beggars refused to collect arms from a corrupt minister. He was looking around for a beggar to give money to. No beggar was willing to collect money from him. So we can have a voter strike, a people's strike, and say, if you are bringing money, we will not collect it. But if we are organizing conferences like this, and people who are supposed to attend say, how much will you pay me to come? Who will pay my transport? But the same people can go to the mountain to go and meet a pastor. They can use their own money to go to Makkah. But they can only use their own money to pursue the politics of their country. So let us not talk about money. Politicians too, if you ask them, they don't want to give money. They are only giving money when the people are asking for it. and they know they will fail without it. I remember when Peter Ame was running for House of Reps, he had enough vote to be a senator. But the same people were still telling him, we need some money, however small. The people he left Abuja to go and meet in Kogi to try to rescue. And they collected their money. The person who is there now, I don't know what he has done for them. So in conclusion, this today can be 50-50. It can be another talk shop where tomorrow we forget about it. Or it can be the defining moment in electoral reform. And some have said we should take this paper to National Assembly to go and give them. I'm not against it. But what's more important is what was raised by Bugaje and some others, that electoral reform is too generic. The sum total of election reform or no reform is that they are rigging the elections. So to do reform, you need government because it's a government action. But that on your own, before the government takes any action, you can do everything you have in your power to prevent rigging. So the next conference that Komriwale Okuniyi, Veteran Chain, is going to host is how to stop rigging. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prince Adewale Adebayo. As a matter of fact, how to stop rigging is what we are starting today. How to stop rigging, and that is why we are launching today Movement for Credible Elections. So when you hear Movement for Credible Election, it means that you want to stop rigging. It's not just electoral reform. Electoral reform is a generic thing, everybody, multi-stakeholders. But those who want to stop rigging, we have to key into the movement being launched today, which is the Movement for Credible Election that has been launched today. He's going to announce his leadership in the press by tomorrow. The strategic action plan mentioned by Dr. Akifaku that you also see as encapsulating what we have done today. Nothing that we have done today will be left out in that the totality of the strategy plan that we are going to announce. You will see the leadership from Patu Tome to Bugaje to Nkoyo Toyo to Ayuba Waba, etc., etc. You will find all of them in the leadership that we merge, and we will take nominations also from some of those who have come here, you know, into that leadership. And that leadership is going to work between now and May 2026. So that is what is crystallizing how to stop that. And the way to do that is to ensure that you have credible electoral framework that can bat the stopping of rigging. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I'd like to do the vote of thanks on behalf of Professor Patu Tome, the Ambassador Honorable Nkoyo Toyo, and others in the local organizing committee. I, as the Director General of the local organizing committee, hereby appreciate, commend and thank all of us who have attended, from Dr. Obi Ezekwesili to Rotimi Amechi, Right Honorable, to our lead speaker here, Prince Adewale Adebayo, then Mr. Peter Obi, who was represented by Chanko Yunusa, Dr. Olugbenga Ashim, Olawepo Ashim, who led a retinue of PDP leaders into this room in the morning. We'd like to thank him. We also thank the Kano State government, the governor was represented by special advisor on international affairs, and all our panelists, Dr. Maguro, leading in the patients in the decay, the High Chief himself, Peter Hamel, Dr. Tanko Yunusa, who represented Mr. Peter Obi, my Egbon, Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa, and our brothers, Comrade Mark, who is the spokesperson of CUPP, my brother Adum Alex, who has done so much behind the scene, and also even donated to the cause of, he put his own widow's mite into it, just like where some of our stakeholders have also created what you have seen. You have seen live coverage on television. You know, we don't want to announce, but you know, when you see KAFTAN doing this thing, this is worth 10 million. Yes, Professor Ikechukwu was also here. He gave the keynote speech. Okechukwu. Then Ike Obiora. They were all here, senator. We have mentioned Rotimi Amechi. But we need to appreciate the KAFTAN television, especially for beaming this live on national television and on YouTube. You are going to find this for live, so we can go back to this. Kosi Prince Adewale Adebayo to further do research on what we did today. Our rapporteur, team of rapporteur, will go and study this again and see the intervention of people so that we don't miss anything. We don't want to rush the communique. They will look at the video, the live recording, and then transcribe and then bring out the pungent resolutions and decisions of this historic garden. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to congratulate you all. We are going to take this to the street, because if we don't, Governor Amechi said we have to seize the street. And when you seize the street, it's the grassroots, it's the people that are on the street. When you mention the street, you are talking of grassroots. So we are going to take this in local languages to our various communities. That is what we intend to do, and mobilize a mammoth national movement that can engage in stopping rigging or credible election. So we'd like to thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll be calling on you. The next action will be a major national rally. It's not going to be in the hall like this. We are going to be inviting you to a major national rally where you come. It may be at the fountain, how do you call it? The Unity Fountain. It may be at the National Assembly. It may be at Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos. Everywhere, 6 geopolitical zone. Major rally for credible election in 2027. So that is about all. We have no other. Yes. So national anthem, please.
Okay. But
national anthem.
We didn't thank. We also didn't thank the organizers for thanking us. So, Mr. Wale Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear.